Hello Dolphins fans! Coming with the latest updates straight from Dolphins training camp, the team is gearing up for the upcoming matchup, aiming to do things differently than last week. But before we dive into some important news, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on the Dolphins' daily updates. Alright, let's get to today's story. Tyreek Hill was nowhere to be seen on the field on Wednesday. That's right, just a few days after playing a solid game in our loss to the Cardinals, he's now out of practice. According to Omar Kelly, Hill has been dealing with a nagging foot injury for some time. Fortunately, that didn't seem to slow him down too much last week. He was right there for Tua's return, racking up 72 yards on 6 receptions, including a fantastic 30-yard catch. It's great to see Hill making plays, but there's no doubt he's been quieter this season. Last year, he was averaging over 100 yards per game almost like clockwork. This season, he's only reached triple digits once, and that was in Week 1. At this point, it's safe to say we've all been waiting to see that explosive Tyreek who can change the momentum of a game on a single play. And with the Dolphins at 2-5, we're in must-win territory if we want to keep any playoff hopes alive. The timing couldn't be worse with the Bills game coming up this weekend. Buffalo is 6-2 and has yet to lose a home game. They're one of the strongest teams not just in the AFC East, but in the entire AFC. And yes, we're heading straight to Highmark Stadium, which is always a tough place to play. Losing Hill for this game would be a huge setback. So what's the plan if Tyreek can't play? We'll need Jalen Waddle and Devon Chain to bring their A-game. Last week, even with Hill on the field, Waddle and Chain combined for 95 receiving yards and a touchdown against the Cardinals. If Hill is out, they'll need to step up to give Tua the support he needs. We know Tua can move the ball, but without Hill's threat downfield, Buffalo's defense could give us a hard time. With Sunday approaching, it will be crucial to keep an eye on Hill's injury status. We need him out there if we want to have a chance to get back into the win column and turn this season around. Let's hope he's ready to roll, but if he's not, it's going to take all hands on deck to get a win in Buffalo. Okay, Dolphins fans, what do you think? Can Waddle and Chain step up in Hill's absence, or do we need Tyreek out there no matter what? This week, all eyes are on Tua Tagovailoa, who faces a big test, a rematch against the Buffalo Bills. You may recall that in Week 2, Tua suffered a concussion after a hit from Bills safety Damar Hamlin. It was his third official concussion in the NFL, causing him to miss 4 games. After that scary moment, many fans and analysts questioned whether Tua should continue playing. Health experts have warned that 3 concussions in such a short career could be a sign of a decline, but Tua has made it clear that he is here to stay. Now, this weekend marks his return to face Buffalo again, and he is sending a strong message. When asked if his previous concussion against the Bills would be on his mind, Tua simply replied, "No, I'm a football player. If you have any of those thoughts, I think it's time to step down." Tua's response was reassuring and determined, showing that he is committed to focusing on his performance and not letting the past hold him back. Last week, Tua returned to action against the Cardinals, and while we didn't get the win, he showed that his skills are still sharp. He completed 28 of 38 passes for 238 yards and a touchdown. His resilience is obvious, but there are still concerns. With the Bills maintaining a strong record and Buffalo's home court advantage, this game will be one of Tua's biggest challenges, not just physically, but mentally. One interesting point is Tua's choice not to wear a guard cap, a piece of equipment designed to reduce the risk of head injuries. Despite his history of concussions, Tua declined to wear one, calling it a personal choice. His decision raised some eyebrows, even among the Dolphins staff. Coach McDaniel has publicly encouraged him to consider it as a preventative measure, but Tua seems confident in his decision. Okay, Dolphins fans, what do you think of Tua's pick? Do you think he should take more precautions, or are you with him in trusting his instincts? So the Dolphins may have lost the game 28-27, but there's one silver lining: Tua Tagovailoa is back. We saw a noticeable difference in how the offense moved with him leading the way. After 4 long weeks on the sidelines due to his concussion in Week 2, Tua returned and threw for 238 yards and a touchdown, completing 28 of 38 passes. This was the best offensive performance we've seen in weeks, especially after our struggles without him. Still, the Dolphins' defense couldn't hold its own in the second half, and this one-point loss stings. Now, despite this setback, many rankings have us moving up, even if it's just by a spot or two. It's clear that analysts see potential with Tua back in the lineup. For example, the NFL rankings bumped us up from number 25 to number 23, noting that Tua has brought much-needed stability and energy to the offense. Sure, we had that unfortunate safety on a high snap, but the offense looked much more cohesive than in any of the previous games he missed. ESPN also had us at number 23, calling our veteran star Calais Campbell one of the team's best players, leading in sacks and tackles for loss. The veteran defensive end still has it all and is a force up front. But it wasn't all praise across the board. CBS ranked us lower at number 30, calling our loss horrible and raising concerns about the upcoming matchup with the Bills. With Buffalo's strong season and home field advantage, it's a tough game to approach with optimism. Meanwhile, Bleacher Report acknowledged the offensive improvement with Tua back, but noted that at 2-5, we're teetering on the edge of playoff contention. Their analyst Moton pointed out that our pass defense allowed 2 Cardinals receivers to rush for over 110 yards each, a rare stat that showed some defensive weaknesses. And it's not just CBS. Sports Illustrated's Alain Poupart mentioned that Tua's return didn't fix all of the Dolphins' problems, and now we face back-to-back tough road games against the Bills and Rams. We haven't won in Buffalo since 2016, which only makes this upcoming matchup even more crucial. It's tough, but Poupart didn't write off the Dolphins completely, saying they still have room to improve and maybe even contend for a win. Fox Sports gave us one of the biggest bumps, moving up from number 30 to number 25. They noted that Tua made the Dolphins look like a viable NFL team, which is something they couldn't say when he was out. The offense certainly showed flashes of the team we want them to be, and there's still hope if they can clean up those late-game mistakes and keep up their scoring pace. Tyreek Hill himself even shared that he was thrilled to have Tua back and thought the offense took big steps in the right direction. Hill said, "We scored some points today, so that's a positive." But Dolphins fans, let's be realistic for a moment. The season is at a breaking point. With us sitting at 23rd or 24th in these rankings, it's clear that the consensus is that we're headed in the right direction with Tua back, but there's very little room for error right now. To stay in the race, the Dolphins need to not only perform well, but start putting up wins on the board consistently. Looking ahead, the Dolphins' upcoming games aren't getting any easier, and we're entering a stretch where every win is crucial. Many analysts believe that if the Dolphins make the playoffs, it will be due to a great run by Tua and a little luck along the way. These last few games will tell whether this team has the mettle to overcome early setbacks and push for a playoff spot. They need to rack up some wins quickly, especially since they face one of the toughest schedules of the season. So, Dolphins fans, what do you think? Should our Dolphins be ranked higher? Do you think they'll bounce back and make the playoffs, or is it time to look ahead to next season? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more updates. Fins up!